Hi, you're listening to Julie Taylor, and this is Julie and Company.
Today my guest is Julie Bradet. Julie is the organizer of the Knowlton Film Fest. Hi, Julie.
Hi, Julie.
I know, isn't that funny? Julie and Julie. So thanks for being here, Julie. I'm so excited because you're preparing and you've been working very hard on organizing the Film Fest, which is going to be in August.
Yes, at the end of August.
How did you get involved with the Knowlton Film Fest?
Well, I would say that I got involved in the film festival through a woman named Michelle Bazin, which was someone very important in my life. She opened up the door of the film festival, said, Julie, you want to volunteer? Welcome, I need help. And I was very involved with her in 2022. And then, Michelle, she was sick. She passed away this year. We are proposing a tribute to Michelle to honor Michelle's memories. It's going to be at the theater. We show a movie. So
what is the movie about?
Aide médicale à mourir.
It's about I think it's called MAID. It's about assisted death. It's so unpleasant to say that. Yeah. Medically assisted passing away.
Yeah, so Michelle was avant-gardiste. She was really someone that see through the future. Mm-hmm. All her life, she was ahead of her time. And through her death, the way she decided to go away with a lot of dignity, with a lot of visionary eyes on life, mm-hmm. It was very moving. And this movie, I think that a lot of people of his generation and a lot of her friends also that are going to be there, are into that reflection. Yes. How am I going to go away? Michelle, she was very intelligent. She could go, she could be tragic. She had all the range of emotion. I could have choose any movie. Frankly, she was able to like everything. But this movie, I thought it would be good to show it because it
would be a good introduction to speaking of Michelle to an audience if they didn't know her.
Yeah, well, it would be what I wanted to say about her. I wanted to say it also to the living in the room, is that this generation, the baby boomer, they really transmit a lot of things to us. It's the generation of our parents. I recently lost my two parents, and now I have only gratitude mm-hmm. for what they give us. Yeah. The sexual liberation. They give us states like education, free education, a lot of things. The Quebec is not the same because of this generation, and I think that now what they are giving us is this alternative of way of saying goodbye. And Michelle, that was ahead of all those movements, was also ahead of this movement. So the movie for me is a tribute to that part of Michelle that was ahead of her time.
I see. Yeah. So you're going to show this movie and there's an audience, and then are you going to do something else, take questions, or I guess are you going to speak on her behalf? There's friends that are going to be there?
Yes, there's going to be a couple of friends who are going to say some things. Maybe CIDI director is going to be there to say something because she was also very involved in CIDI. So we want the community, people who knew her in the community, to be able to speak in that context. She was a very involved citizen of Lake Brome, and we have to honor that. Mm-hmm. And that's what we'll do at the end of August.
Lovely.
On a Friday. Yeah.
So you were introduced to the Knowlton Film Fest. You started just lending a hand, and now you're the organizer.
Yeah.
How does one go about picking titles?
Well, at the beginning of it's just being a good public for first. You have to think about the people who are going to watch the movie and be yourself someone who wants to listen to that movie. Yeah. If the movie is too much or it's going in some direction, or it's because in that film festival there's a lot of movies that are like very original proposition where you say, wow, too original for us. Yes. Too much.
Because
too
I guess to a certain degree, you're talking to a public that lives in a smaller community that has overarching community values. We live in nature. There's something that feels less trendy about us.
Yeah.
We're more established in something that is the long haul of things.
Yeah, there's a snobism in cinema. There is one, so you can be part of the club that knows all those titles that I've followed. And it's fine also being a specialist of cinemas, but me, I go for a movie that I think that will have a reach. It doesn't mean it's a very popular movie.
I think you're the only person ever that's told me that there's a lot of snobism in cinema. And thank you for doing so, because it's quite funny. We're doing movies and we're creating gems to talk to humanity, and yet there's a lot of superficiality.
Yes, and sometimes, it's just like being a specialist in something, you want to have something that is, all the history of cinema. And then, so there's a lot of people like that who program film festival director, and it's all right. But what I want to create here, and it's in the spirit of Michel also, is a film festival where there is discovery of new title that we never heard about, but the movie still is something. It's just a good movie that didn't have the chance to go on Netflix in Coansville or, at The Princess, because a lot of good movies don't come in the region also. So there's a...
You're mentioning the theater Princess in Cowansville. I mean, what a blessing. My kids were growing up here in Knowlton, and it was so nice to be able to have a family night or go to a movie. We're going back many years before Netflix. What a wonderful place.
Yeah, we have to defend those places. They are a bit in danger.
Yeah, in danger, absolutely. And again, let's take a moment, because it's our duty as a collective and as individuals of a community to safeguard those things that we cherish. And there's no better way than to solicit those businesses. And I remember way back then, even the schools, if you want to have, bilingual and multilingual schools to keep them healthy and thriving, you have to be involved as a parent to a certain degree. And let's keep that going. And thank you for mentioning it.
Yeah, I used to be a community organizer, simply in all kind of organizing thing around school. So I really understand what you say. So those places, the cinema is a gathering place. School are a gathering place.
Yes.
The theater, the nice theater we have here in this town, we are so lucky to have this beautiful place. Also is a place for the community to be together. The community center. So we have a lot.
There's a lot of richness here.
Yeah. And a lot of place where we can find a community outside our own family also. Sometimes, being in community is good for us, because we honestly. So I did a lot of organizing in Montreal in some neighborhood, and I found the spirit of Knowlton and Lake Brome very inspiring. I always, when I knock at door and say, do you want to be in the film festival, everybody almost say yes. So we find a way to.
There's absolutely a spirit of volunteering in our community. I always like to romance it as to our humble beginnings, where people came up and had to, fight their way. I'm not saying fight their way with others, but perhaps have the resilience of establishing themselves in a more wild, natural environment. And that it's been preserved for so long.
Yeah, I was at the Fulford Community Center this morning because we're going to show a movie there. A movie that was created by the first team that organized the first film festival in the town. So
2010-11?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's a 5 short film around 5 towns. So there's Fulford, there's Knowlton, there's, I think, Sutton. So we take that out of the archive because it's been like 10 or 15 years that's been produced, and we show it at the Fulford Community Center. And while I was there, talking with the technician and looking around, how we're going to put the screen and how it's going to work. All those very nice pictures of Fulford archive.
Wow.
And it was there, and I thought, wow, people are proud of this history as a sense of
belonging.
Yeah, belonging and documenting and transmitting. And it's just good that we still have this instinct. I don't think human being can lose it. Really.
We'll see what happens in the next 2 years. So you were saying that there's a lot of volunteering here.
Yeah.
And tell me more about the Film Fest.
So the Film Fest is a big organization. In fact, it's been the 6th edition it's running. So I arrived in 2022. And then we tried to make it a bit longer. It was a good move. We could do more. We could find more public, do more events during the week.
And
so
this year
we decided to come back to 6 days.
And how many movies, projections?
20 and 15 events, like a bit of, like, for example, all the band that are going to play at the Thirsty Booth.
Okay, so you created themes, because I always think of a movie where you sit and watch, but to make it more interactive, you partnered with a few locales and venues to create events around the projection of the movie. Or the viewing. I don't know if projection's the right word. So tell me about it, because there's a musical chapter at the Thirsty Booth.
I want to talk about something else before I forgot. Okay, we also have an association with the Knowlton players. It's been 2 events that we organized with them, Viviane Grenier especially. So this year we have a tribute also of Emma Stevens. So Ben McCauley, who is now studying in cinema.
And I know his parents. Lucy and Danny, who are very involved in the town, from the bookstore to the theater.
So, yes, indeed. So Ben is going to create a movie around Emma Stevens, a short film. And this movie will be presented by Emma Stevens and Viviane Grenier. It's the day before the beginning of the festival, because we needed the room, really the theater, just to organize the projection and the show. Sometimes it can be tricky during the festival while we have like 30 movies to show. So it's the day before. People are invited to come to a barbecue before the presentation of this event. So this is a very nice collaboration, and I'm very eager to know Emma Stevens indeed, because I don't know her, but now we're gonna get to know her.
Lovely. So 2 people from the village are going to be honored. Emma.
Emma
Michelle.
and Michelle. So this is something we'll continue to do, because there's a lot of great people. Sometimes I'm thinking when I'm choosing movie, I'm thinking about specific person. For example, the owner of the yoga place that I love so much. Or I'm thinking about what's her name? Oh my God, I don't remember her name. Jamie. Sometimes I watch movie and I'm thinking about, or maybe Julie, I'm going to think about you at one point.
You can make a movie about me.
No, but thinking also programming movie, thinking about some person specific. But we'll continue like that, honoring some person in the village that we think that we have the means to do it, because we want also, like, for example, Ben, I find it cool that a guy decide to go to cinema and say, okay, that's gonna be, so we are helping him.
Everybody seems to be going into business, money, finances, law.
No, not everybody.
And now we're having hopefully a rebirth of the arts. Certainly you're supporting that. And I was thinking, I know you've got a background in anthropology, and you studied human behavior, humans, the influence on humans, I suspect, is what it's all about. And you're looking at movies, and I think that must come in really handy to have all that subtle knowledge and insight into human beings while you're watching a movie projected, because sometimes in a short hour and a half, a producer, director must show sometimes a lifespan. And so you need to fill in the blanks. You must be very gifted and talented in picking up on the subtleties and filling in those blanks and making it yours.
The movie director, I think, are extraordinary. The good one. Anyways, they are able to transmit ideas, feelings, through all the means of cinema. It's something that I really admire, being able to do that.
I think of, we're talking, and I think of Claude Lelouch, who said, to be thoroughly universal, you need to be totally personal, and that we're all connected in our humanness.
Well, there's a movie. It's my favorite movie this year. We're going to show it with the movie maker. His name is Matthew Ranking. He's from Regina. And the name of the title of the movie is a universal language. So in the case of this movie, the quote from Lelouch is really appropriated, because it's exactly that. It's a very singular point of view on society on him, on his parent, because it's also about his parent, but at the same time it really speaks to all of us. And this movie is a bit of a model for, I wish only movie like that, I try to find the movies that are like that, and it was one of the
little
great
diamonds.
Yeah, it was also, I'm not the only one who recognized that. They won all the prize. Best director this year in Canada. It was the movie chosen to represent Canada to the Oscars. So at the end, it was not chosen in the 5 finalists, but almost.
So look out for the movie Langage Universel.
Yeah, a universal language.
Universal
language. It's both in English and French, and also Persian. Also Persian. So this is also a characteristic of the movie that is very interesting.
So we talked that there's a collaboration with different venues. One was around music, and you have some band members, I think.
Yes.
Tell me about the movie with the Bruce Springsteen theme and how that all ties in.
Yeah, okay. So we have a collaboration with the Thirsty Boot for 3 years now. So we start back this year stronger than ever with our programming. So we have on the Saturday night a cover band of Bruce Springsteen. So a documentary on Bruce Springsteen is shown at the beginning of the night, so around 8 o'clock. It might be outside if it's nice, but if not, it's inside. And then we have a cover band with Will Allen. So Will is not a professional musician, but he's good. He put together a band for the event. So all his friends gonna be there, but it's gonna be good also. I could not be. I'm a big fan of Bruce Springsteen. I really want it to happen. So we also have a movie at the booth. It's a movie about the Beatles. This movie is gonna be played at the same time at the theater and at the booth, and everybody's gonna gather at the booth at the end of the night for a show by the Wicker Man. So that's a real band, professional band that will do a cover of the Beatles. So this is going to be a great night. There's also a brunch, Bob Dylan brunch at the Thirsty Boot. There's a brunch now every Saturday. So it's going to be now with music. The film on Dylan the name is A Complete Unknown, will be shown at the park night, because during the day showing the movie in the Thirsty Boat is a bit complicated. So we say it's in the park, and then we have a nice brunch with the musician. Right. The name is John Cohen. That's a good musician, also going to be there. And
so there are some events that are related to music. There are some events that are related to food.
First, at the Thirsty Booth, we invite everybody to come and supper at the booth before the event. So there's beautiful terrace, the booth. So everybody just reminding there's possibility to go supper there. We also have a dinner during the lunchtime at the theater. It's going to be possible to eat also while watching masterclass or a discussion between guests that are at the festival around different thematic.
Tell me about these guests. Now, you said you had somebody that comes from Regina.
Yeah.
You have people from which other areas?
Yes, we have all the movies with the movie maker. So we have Q&A with the movie maker. If it's
for
not almost all of them.
So that's an added bonus. It's not, if you go to a film fest, it's because there's events around that, there's a buzz, there's people who love movies, there's people from the community that come out. There's a whole life around this event where you have the privilege of talking and meeting the people who make the movies as well.
Indeed. So that's a good point, because that's what I try to create, like a place of meeting between public and the creator of the movie, but also between the creators. So there is like a small community. Also,
there's a synergy.
Yeah, so there's really this is the meaning of it. This is the goal, in a sense, to create this place where a small community, éphémère, it just, the time of the festival, we gather around movie. If we see movie together, maybe we can talk about them together after the movie, between neighbor, just and between also
it's an event
the cineast and the public that are invited to talk, they are very close. They're in a small place, which is Knowlton, the Cracaron, you know.
Yes, on Lakeside. So you have all these moments where you're trying to create connection, sharing, opening hearts. When I think of movies, it can potentially be such an emotional and heart-opening experience. You were telling me earlier in a moment that the experience of watching a movie is fundamentally to open hearts.
Yes, I believe so. This is the reason. I think that movie makers are very sensible person. You know, they are very sensible to all the range of emotion. So sometimes they can go in dark place. But those dark places are also a way to connect, because
back to light. If you go in the dark, you can move more light.
Sometimes movies are there to say, oh, we are lying to ourselves on some issue. And they just bring you back to something more true. So it's the range that I find interesting. So there's comedy in the festival, but there is also darker movie. But they all have, my criteria is really to have movies that are able to show a multiplicity of worldview on subject. It's not just one-sided thing or like very black and white. Good movie usually bring you in all those ranges.
All those zones.
Yeah, and all those zones. Even the feel-good movie.
Hi, would you like to be on the show? Do you have any questions or ideas you'd like to share? Go to julietaylor.ca and leave me a message. So at the Film Fest, you have documentaries, short films, long features. You have stuff that is tied in with events that are around food, music, and you also have a family theme movies, and I think you do those projections outdoors?
Yes. So during the whole week, we are at the Colebrook Park with a LED screen. So this is a screen that can project movie also when it's the day, so that we can also show movie a bit sooner in the day. So we have every night we have two projections, one that starts at 7 o'clock, the other one at 8:30.
Okay.
So almost 10 movies that we show for free.
Okay, so you can show up 5 minutes before the show, or even if you're a little late and quiet. So you bring a blanket, you bring snacks.
That's it.
Family stuff.
And we have on Wednesday night, it's also the night of where the food trucks are at the park. All summer long they are there, but they are there also during the film festivals. We'll show two movies this night. One of them is Beetlejuice, so it's a very fun movie of the year. And we have also costume
extravaganza.
Yeah, concours.
Contest.
So with prize for the costume around this movie and the Tim Burton vibes. So
right. So you'll have a lot of teenagers there, I suspect, young adults too.
Oh yeah, I would like.
So where can we buy tickets for the event? Where can we see the program? Where can we see which titles you're going to be showing and where and which venues? If I want to know more, where would I go?
So it's on the website. It's the first place where you can go. So now there's only the pass for the week that is for sale, but July is going to be all the movie that could be bought online through our website. But we are going to be at ticketing service at the park and at the theater. So we are going to be very present at the village this summer.
Okay, so at Colebrook, there's a ticket office. There's going to be also tickets sold at the theater.
Yeah.
And some events are free, some you have to pay. Look it up on the Knowlton Film Fest website. It's ffkff.ca. And you'll also be able to, depending on the weather, even if you're last minute, you can still purchase and assist to those events.
Yes, indeed. It's cinema. It's easygoing. It's not expensive also. The tickets are $10 during the day, $15 during the night. The theater gets very vibrant and animated, so you are welcome.
We're talking about the 6 days, August. The Knowlton Film Fest will be in full-fledged. So thank you, Julie. It was so nice seeing you and meeting you.
Thank you. The same. It was nice to meet you.
Thanks a lot.
This catchy, positive, upbeat pop song by Fred Bound at Free Music Archive is licensed CC BY.